Where can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you, strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry, where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. And there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. Then what's more, you'll get that for a quid. TechMax 2023 will be on the 23rd of June at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. This event will be over 4 times larger than last year's event, and this year's event will incorporate a live tech awards, dedicated meeting rooms, demo and interactive areas, and up to 800 other techs just like you. Get registered now at tftmax.com. Where can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you, strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry, where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. And there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. Then what's more, you'll get that for a quid. TechMax 2023 will be on the 23rd of June at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. This event will be over 4 times larger than last year's event, and this year's event will incorporate a live tech awards, dedicated meeting rooms, demo and interactive areas, and up to 800 other techs just like you. Get registered now at tftmax.com.
You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Tech for Tech's Tech Talk. This is a live show where we help your IT business grow. First of all, I've got a new microphone, so please let me know if you can hear me. That would be the first thing we need to know, because last week's show didn't go too well at the beginning because we had a few technical issues. So guys, if you can hear me, it'd be nice to reply and let me know and also while you're doing that, let us know where you are, where you're coming from. If you are a Facebook user who's just commented, if you click the link I'm just about to put in chat, which is this one here, if it lets me paste it. Yes, it is. There we go. If you click on that link, it will allow your name to be shown in the chat, so it won't just call you Facebook user. So Kenny Clever, so Ken is saying yes, can hear you as well. Okay, so it looks like we've got a good start today then, and no technical issues, or at least not yet anyway. So, right, let's get started then. So tonight's show, obviously we've got ISL Online on, so they do remote desktop solutions, make IT admin a breeze and so forth. They're obviously going to sell it a lot better than they can. So first of all, I'm going to get them to introduce themselves before we go on to the news and then go back to the main topic. So William, if you want to introduce yourself, let us know who you are and basically what you do. What's your day-to-day things that you're doing?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Philip. It's a pleasure being back. So my name's William. I work for ISL Online. I'm actually here the partner channel manager. So I overlook our partners, make sure that they know what they're doing, onboard them if necessary, and I also give presentations when Philip invites me. So it's a pleasure being here. And now over to my colleague Joe.
Yeah, hi, I'm Joe. I'm part of our technical support team at ISL, and I'm here today to help with any of the more technical aspects and to hopefully answer your questions later.
Right, there we go. Thank you, guys. And it looks like the chat's basically saying yes, they can hear me. So that's good. Again, guys, if you haven't clicked that link already, make sure you do. Yeah, that stupid restream thing. It's not actually a restream fault. It's Facebook where you have to click that link. So which is chat.restream.io/Facebook. Basically where you have to give Facebook permission to allow it to access your information. And hi in Mexico. So we got Lucas over there. So thanks for tuning in tonight. So let's have a look what we've got. So first of all, before we go on to the main topic, let me just go through the Tech for Tech news. So first of all, let me go through and do this at the same time. So it's just me on the show tonight. So I'm having to multitask, which, as most women know, men are no good at doing. So just bear with me. So let me get on the right page first of all. So right. So tonight's news, or at least the news we've got, is Cherry Extrafy has signed up to TechMax. So that's another vendor. We also have various other vendors, obviously, still yet to sign up, or should I say, finalize their paperwork and so forth. We've got another 10 to go on the list. You can see a full list of them there. So we've got quite a few on the list. We've got 50 more vendors signed up this year than we did last year. So that's 50% more already. And we've still got at least 10 more, what we're just finalizing, a few big names in there as well to add on. You can see, obviously, if you go to the Tech for Tech's website, you will be able to actually click on the QR code or scan the QR code, which I'm putting on now, so it'll take you there. So if you're not sure what it is, it's tftmax.com. You'll be able to sign up. It's only £1 to go. It's on the 23rd of June. We've got quite a few vendors. We've got Aerocooler, who are the main sponsor. PAX8 are doing the sponsoring of the awards, because the awards are going to be on the night. We'll talk more about that in a few seconds. We've got Strong. They're a networking company. They're obviously paying for the evening meal and entertainment. So we've got an act on the evening. We spoke more about it last week, but we'll be doing a show in a few weeks giving you a lot more information. And also CUDA, which is like a marketing company in charge of quite a few brands like Zotac, MSI, ESL, which is the esports leagues and so forth. They're sponsoring the evening drinks. So that means your beers and all your different stuff like that. are going to be paid for by them. So, right, so that's those. And the other thing I've got to mention is basically the awards. Voting ends tonight, basically. So that's the 27th of April, if I've got that right. So you've got a few days left, or should I say a few hours left to do your voting. So that, I'll put that on the screen as well. So that is there. So Tech for Tech Awards, you can scan the QR code on the screen if you've got a phone handy, or you just go to the Tech for Tech's website and then go to Awards 2023 or click Awards at the top, which is pretty straightforward. It's that one there. But you'll be able to vote for all your favorite techs, your vendors and distributors, or at least all the ones that you guys nominated. So you just click on the list and then go through that list there, and there's quite a few different ones there, lots of different categories, which I'll let you guys go through. So just make sure you do. You've got till 10 o'clock tonight on that one. So just make sure you don't miss out on the chance of actually voting. Otherwise, that's pretty much for the news. We're going to go on to the main topic now. So let me just close that. And let me put the chat back on. So get the right buttons. Here we go. Don't worry, everyone who has commented, I'll come back to you in a few minutes. But chat will start again, and I might close it again in a few seconds, depending on the presentation, if it needs to take up the full screen. Right, over to you then, William. I think everyone's fed up with listening to me now, so it's your turn.
Perfect. No, it's all good. Pleasure's mine. So, guys, thank you very much. I'll just pop the presentation on the screen now. So, who are we? For those of you who are joining us for the first time and wanting to know about ISL Online, I would actually recommend Philip and I's last video where we went into detail how we work, what products we have, and everything like that. It should be in the comments below, but if not, just go and look through his videos and you'll find out. So the purpose of today, guys, is to look at how we can make IT admin easy and simple to use, okay? And I know it's a bit of a dry topic, but ISL Online, and tonight we're going to make it fun for you, okay? First of all, we've made IT admin a bit of a breeze. We can easily do things, we can easily organize, and it's just a lot easier to get your job done. So what we're going to look at today is mainly our admin module. So previously this wasn't actually available, but all bits and pieces of our customization was available on our self-hosted license. Now we've made it available for our cloud users. So you get all of those nice customizations, and you still pay about a quarter of the price. So what we're going to look at today is our admin module, and we're going to look at how we can set up your computers and we can manage your computers and even your users, putting them into user groups, user permissions, all the fun stuff. On top of that, we can look at how we can share computers and groups of computers. So what the purpose of today and what I wanted to maybe use as a main theme, and I need your help, everyone, is I'm going to create a company, okay? And it's a hypothetical company, 1,000 employees, 1,000 devices, let's say, okay? You have 10 operators. So that means 10 people that can have remote desktop sessions. And of those 10, you have 5 IT admins, okay? We need the name of this company. So pop down in the comments below or comments just here, and we can use the first name that pops up. So you better get in there quick. Okay, so whilst I'm waiting for the name, I'll briefly explain what the purpose is. So I wanted you to have a hands-on experience of how easy it is to be an IT admin and use ISL Online, okay, for all of your remote desktop needs. So first of all, do we have any names? Let's have a look. No, we'll have a couple more seconds and then we'll have a look. Here we go. Argyle Amigo. Thanks, Lucas. So in this instance, our company is Argyle Amigo. So we're going to break down how we can help this company manage all of their devices, their users, and everything in between. So if we go to the next slide, we'll have a look at the administrative module. So if you have checked us out already and you know what we do, then you would have noticed that our admin module is a new tab that would have appeared in the website. So what this allows is it allows more customization options for you, the IT admin, Also, you have more control over your users, over your computers, everything. And it also provides more flexibility. So it allows you to, let's say, cater for a sales department and also cater for HR and cater for someone who has no idea what they're doing. They just need something to work. Okay. So that means faster resolution times, and the employee's issue or client's issue is resolved instantaneously. Okay. So that's what we want to achieve. And again, we want to make it easy for the IT admin. Alrighty. Next, we have computers and user groups. So on the right-hand side, you can see a brief snippet of the of the web client. I will show you after this, and we'll do a deeper dive into the administrative module. So this is just a little bit of a snapshot. What you can do from here is you can organize all of your devices, not only into groups, but you can also use further categorization using tags. Okay, so on the right-hand side, you see support. But on that support, maybe there's a few IT admins in there and the rest are junior supporters. So you obviously don't, or you don't want to be or you don't want to be searching for the wrong thing. So if we put in an employee into that support group, we can also put a little tag saying, aha, this is an IT admin. So not only can we see what computers they have access to, but we can see what user groups or users they belong to as well. So it's really nice and easy. We also have the user permissions. So I did mention this, but I'll mention it again. You can easily define, you set the permissions. On the right-hand side, there's only 3, but with the administrative module, we can go a bit deeper and go into more specific scenarios, okay? I will show you this a bit later on, so don't worry. But right now, the 3 main ones are connect only, computer manager. So perhaps it's a supporter that needs to play around with a group of computers and maybe share it to someone else. They're able to do that. They can also create groups and move around other computers into those new groups. And then the group admin is a master admin. If you would like to, I suppose, put a finger on it. So the idea here is that we wanted to make 3 options so that you can go, aha, yep, that employee just needs to connect to that end machine. Aha, okay, now this user needs to be managing several different computers. Okay, we'll pop them as a computer manager. And if they're a group admin, then they have all access. Alrighty. So the next, what we're going to look at is computer and group sharing. It's super simple and super easy. On the left-hand side, this is actually a snapshot or a screenshot from within our application. And then over on the right-hand side, it's a little bit more detail because here we have not only suggested users, but we have user groups. So I can, if I imagine this company that we created, Argyle Amigos, okay? This is just 2 users, but what happens if Argyle Amigos have 1,000? Okay, it's going to be pretty hard to select, those individual ones. Well, just further below it, you have suggested user groups. So I know that my support team, there's only a number of those users. I can just click on that one, and then that means that this computer or group of computers is now shared with that entire user group. Okay, and all of the passwords and security, don't worry about all that. That's taken care of. You will have to set it, but in this instance, we're not going to bore you with those details. It's very, very quick and simple. Once they have access, they'll need to set a password and they'll be ready to go. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at some of the branding and customization. So the whole point of the admin module is to give give you control and customization over our solution. Okay, and we take it one step further and allow full branding and customization. So that's maybe why people didn't hear of us before, and maybe they heard of some other competitors. It's because we OEM integrated with other solutions. Okay, we made it look like it was theirs, and you can see on this example, Konica Minolta, there is no trace of ISL Online. In fact, if I was a client of Konica Minolta, I would be a bit hesitant if I was trying to be connected to from an operator using a third-party solution. So not only can you customize using the administrative module in terms of functionality, in terms of categorizing and organizing with your users and devices, but then again, you also have the solution to make it look exactly the way you would like it to look and make it work the way you would like it to be. Okay, so not only we have this flexibility in function, but also in aesthetics. So guys, now what we're going to do, we're going to stop right here and I'm going to show you the admin module. So I'm going to share my screen, if possible. And just a moment.
While he's sharing his screen, just to let you guys know, I actually use this software myself. So if you are interested, obviously, in using this, and you're interested in getting a different remote support software versus some of the big names out there, what start with either a S or a T, probably, then these are probably a good alternative to basically look into. I found the price absolutely brilliant, to be honest with you. Offered all the features I had before. It was a set price for me for everything I needed. No worries about doing different things and so forth, and adding different features in and different bits and bobs like that. Absolutely love the software. Easy to use. I've got it set up in this building and at home as well, so I can remote in from home and work, vice versa. And I can also connect up to customers as well. We've got maintenance contracts and stuff like that with ease. So I'm guessing you've got that share screen sorted.
Yep, you see it?
Yeah. Let's have a look. So, William, that should be you. Let me turn it on. Is that the one?
That's the one.
That looks a little blurred to me. I don't know if everyone else can see it or not, but it looks a little blurred.
Does it?
That looks better.
What about that?
Yeah,
Is that a
that
bit
looks
better?
a lot better.
Fantastic.
It might just be the bandwidth on the server, but
It could be. Maybe it's just to get going.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. So now we've got it up. I'm logged into ISLOnline.com. So it's fairly simple. You can go to ISLOnline.com, log in, and then once you've logged in, you're going to be in this screen. Okay, perhaps not in administration, but you'll just have the home screen. And you come down here on the left-hand panel, and then you see admin, and you see administration and users. For this instance, we're going to have a look at administration. So you'll notice I'm in users. I'm going to switch back to computer groups. And what you can see here is I've divided. I've got admins, I've got headquarters, I've got John Doe, just as an example, and support and tech. Okay, so these are the groups of computers that I might have. And in this example, let's picture that there's 50, maybe 500 computers. It doesn't really matter in each of them. So I can share this from within this administrative module, but I can add some more. I can add some tags, and I can even change the owner of this. And if I would like to, I would want to know if that's okay. You know, if all of my computers are working fine, if they have any updates or anything like that, if they're online, if they're not off, if they're offline, I'll be able to see. So that's quite nice. I can easily create another group, but for this instance, I won't because I like these categories right now. But as you can see, we need to put some users into our support group. So we come over to users, and right now we just have one. I can create a user, and in this instance, I'll just put Philip. Perfect. I will just go Phil. That might be nice. And
Yeah,
I can put an
whatever.
email. It doesn't really matter which email. In this, I'll just put test, okay? And then password test. Okay, it probably won't work. Yep, username. Yep, done. Okay. Okay. I don't want to create the password for it, but in this case, once I create a new user, he'll be right here, and then I can change the settings for this user really quickly. So if I go edit settings, I can see exactly on an individual level what I want him to have. So if I know that my the second employee that I'm about to set is going to be a domain admin just like me, so that means like a master admin, then I can enable this functionality. And we have a whole list of different things. So this is just on overview, but we have a tab for general, then we have a tab for ISL Lite, so what you can disable, what you can enable, depending on the functionality. So let's, for example, take Argyle Amigos, right? So they are quite a strict company, maybe a bank, who knows? what they need is they want to be able to send, they want to be able to support their end clients, but they don't want to be able to receive files from within the remote desktop session. Okay, it might be something malicious, so we want to be protecting your data. So what they do is they come over to ISL Lite, and then you can not only find out the function that you would like to enable, disable, but if we keep on going down to files, you can see here that we can turn it off and disable it. And we even have 3 options. Not only do we have disable, allow override, but deny. So it's completely enforced. So even if that person wanted to, they couldn't change this. So for this example, for my user, I can disable this, and that means that whenever I start a session, no one can send or receive files from my side or from their side. So that means it protects you as the operator and gives transparency and peace of mind to your clients. And if it's branded with all the bells and whistles, then it ticks all of the boxes, okay? And it provides this flow. And again, we have a faster response or a faster resolution for anything that you will need. So if we go back to our admin module, there's a lot of different settings that you can choose from. But essentially what we're looking at, ISL Lite is our main application for remote support. So think about it as a temporary session, an on-demand session. I start it, I don't know my end user, but I've solved their problem and away we go. For ISL Always On, this is our remote access. So this is the permanent connection. Imagine your managed services or things like this, where you have a list of all your computers, you just click on it and away you go. Okay, so you've got the best of both worlds there: on-demand support and remote access and unattended access. So from both of these, we can define exactly what our operators need to access, what they don't have access to, and the best part, if you have a set number of licenses, we can cap the number of licenses. So that means that those operators or employees, if they let something go running for too long, it's only going to be using 1 license and no more. Okay, so you got peace of mind that you're going to be optimizing however many licenses that you have. And you get the job done, which is the most important thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go 1 step back. We'll go to administration and we'll go under users. So here I am under computer groups and I want to go to users. So you can now see that I just have this 1 user. If I go down to user groups, I now have a completely different section. What this means is when I am within ISL Lite or even the web client, these will have a number of employees in them already with their set permissions ready to go. So just like what I showed you, we've disabled maybe ISL Lite, so on-demand sessions, and we've only enabled unattended access for certain employees. So we can just pop them straight away to those group of computers, and we can put all of that team in and share them straight there and then. So it makes it a lot easier. So you don't have to manually click however many employees you need and put them in 1 group, or share all of these computers to each person and then repeat the process and do it again and again and again and again. So we've just made it 1 step easier for you, and again, made IT admin a breeze.
Maybe one thing to let's jump in. Sorry, Will.
Yeah,
one
Joe,
thing to
please.
add here is your user groups can be synced with your Active Directory if you like as well. So if you're already managing your users, this is with our on-premise solution. If you're already managing your users via your Active Directory, then you can manage the settings and the features that are enabled for these users directly from there. And yeah, it will sync here with the administration module. So it's all connected and integrated.
Fantastic. Okay, so back onto admin module. So these 3 tabs we've covered. Auditing is quite nice, especially if you are a much larger company and you want to have a bit of red tape. So as you can see here, I've changed something before this presentation on my side, and any change that I make will all be put here. So that means that maybe the executive or the director, or whoever who wants to supervise and just make sure that everyone is taking or using the license appropriately, they can track every step of the way. Okay, so if at any point in time you think someone has threatened by, getting access or maybe changing a password or some functionality, not a problem. Go back into audit and you'll see exactly what happened, when it happened, who it happened by. Okay, so it might be a bit boring, but it's quite nice to know that you have this just in case, and it's in an easy to read format. You don't have to go searching. You don't have to call anyone up. You don't have to wait on chat for hours to get a resolution and then go to another chat and explain it. No, you can see every change that's made here, and you can resolve it if needed. Alrighty, so then you'll notice that the settings are pretty much exactly the same. And this is because it's for everyone. So why I wanted to separate this and leave this towards the end is when I went into users the first time, okay, and just this one user here, I can individually set the settings that I need for this person. But if I want to work backwards and if I want to do it for everyone and then select the individual employees to set their permissions, then I can do it this way. But if I want to do it for everyone at the same time, then I can go to administration, I go to settings, and I can choose what I would like. Oh, just a second. And I'll give you one use case. So right now, a lot of people are concerned with cybersecurity, data protection, all that sort of stuff. So they're trying to maintain a level of security from internally and externally. And not only that, with the huge surge of work from home users, it's a bit of a trouble for an entire company to guarantee their security policy when they've got employees from different parts, okay, working in different workflows, different devices, all that sort of stuff. But here with security, we can enable 2FA, and we can enable 2FA for everyone, okay, on top of some other security stuff. So if I just go to security, I can go here, log in without configured two-factor authentication. So if I disable this, that means that every employee now will need to log in with 2FA. And if I go disable deny override, there is no way for them to change it. So this is quite nice. So that means that no matter where your employees are, no matter if they're in a public Wi-Fi or wherever it is, okay, you're guaranteeing that that person's security or that person's account is under their control. Okay, so there's many other different examples. We can do some IP filtering. We can do maybe minimum password length if it's an automated or automatically generated password. We also had, as Joe mentioned, external authentication. So and what is the usual case for a lot of bigger companies, they already have all their users, they already have all their passwords, they already have all this data. It can be easily integrated. And then you can change it from within our web client itself through the administrative module. So again, it's putting it all there for you in an easy to read format so that you can just get the IT task done, whatever it might be. So on security tab as well, I wanted to mention that we can also have, just a moment. Okay, here we go. Okay. This is not this one. Hang on. Perhaps. Joe, maybe you will want to help me where IP filtering is?
I would guess it was in security, but perhaps not.
I would think so too.
You can use the search bar.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to users. Okay, so if I click on my user here and I just go and edit their settings, I can go to the same tab and it should actually be here. No, it's not here. Okay. Never mind. We have some other cool things that we can not only filter by IP but also via MAC address. So it doesn't really matter where you are. You can only access it through either the one place or the one device, which is quite nice as well. Okay, so that means that even if you're an employee, if you've said, okay, you can work from home, but we don't want you working anywhere else because of some security. If they go down the road to a cafe, they simply won't be able to use or start any sessions. Especially if it's an IP filter. So that's one thing I wanted to mention for you today. Okay, so as you can see, guys, there's a lot of things that you can do within the administrative module. But the whole idea is that we wanted to try and make the most out of ISL Online and make it easier for the people that just need to remotely connect to computers and get things done. And they don't want it to take forever. They don't want it to be confusing. They want it to be easily digestible and resolve the issue as fast as possible. So, guys, I'm going to end it here. With my presentation. So if anyone does have any other questions about administration, whilst I have it open, if you would like to look at something in a bit more detail, I would obviously advise you to go and take our free trial and play around with it yourself. But right now on live time, in real time, if you would like to see anything, I'll leave it open for you. And if you just want to put in the comments, maybe something in particular, otherwise we can carry on.
No problem then. I'll just close it on here, but we can reopen it again if anyone has any
Perfect.
questions. Have you done with this slide?
Yeah, we're all good.
We've done that. Right, okay. So, right, guys, let me turn chat back on. If you guys do have any questions, obviously, make sure you ask them in the comments and so forth. Obviously, if you don't ask, you don't know. I've got some questions what came in, obviously, while obviously the presentation was going off, which I'll go through first. So if you have got any, ask. Otherwise, well, you're not going to get the answers, that's for sure. But as we said before, we did do a live show with these guys a while back. I'll copy and paste that in again in a few minutes. But if you want to actually see that, and I actually reviewed the product as well, I think it was about a year ago now. So if you want to see that, then obviously feel free to have a look at those links. I'll also put them in the description for the podcast version of this as well. So, right. So first question I got in, he didn't go into specifics, but I think this was from Mike. He says, can I resell this as a service or get affiliation income?
Good question. Well, we actually have a partner program. And if you caught me at the beginning, I'm the partner channel manager. So you can resell this. Right now, we don't have an official affiliate program, but we welcome anyone wanting to try this. And perhaps if you send us an email, we can discuss it, negotiate, and come to some sort of agreement. We always love people spreading our brand, which is great. We're a tiny country, we're a tiny niche solution, so we want to get the word out there. So yes, anything's possible.
Okay, that sounds pretty good then. So that's a pretty good answer. You say email, yeah? What's the best email address to get hold of you guys? Obviously, we've got the web address, and I'll put the QR code on the screen again for anyone who wants to use it. What's the best email? Let me put it in.
Would you like me to write it, or if that's okay? You can just use support@islonline.com. I'll pop it in the.
Yeah, put it in the private channel, paste it in as well for people. So, so the QR code, if anyone wants to use the QR code, it'll take you to the ISL website as well. It's just above or just under Joe's face on the screen. So sorry, Joe, we're blocking you out a little bit. So yeah, you're just going to look over it for a few seconds. So I'll copy and paste that into the chat. So if anyone wants to get hold of these guys, so just email support basically, and they should be able to help and get you sorted. So let's go through the chat then. So we've had a few questions come in. Richard Creedy says the curse of live shows and so forth. So nothing, nothing where you expect something to always goes wrong. Let's have a look. So someone's saying they use AD for user management. Do we still need to use ISL Administration module?
It's up to you. I mean, if you want to manage everything from your AD, then go for it. The benefit of using the external authentication is you can just manage all your users from that one place. So you can use login rules that will let you set certain features for those sets of users, whether they're in particular groups or however you have them organized. And everything should be set for you. So generally with the larger customers, yeah, they like to use everything from their AD.
Okay, that's a good one. So next question we've got was from Carl. So he had a problem with the Android app, should I say. They fixed it within a couple of hours. Well, I'm presuming he's talking about you guys anyway, and no one else.
I hope so.
Yeah. So yeah. So glowing review there. We did have another question come in. Can I slightly to do with this? It says, can I remote into phones or Apple products?
Good question. So you start an on-demand session, but unfortunately, as of this moment, there's no unattended access. So that means from a PC or Mac to an iOS or Android device. That being said, you can start an on-demand session, and with some manufacturers, you have full function control. So remote control. Others you have remote view. And unfortunately, with iOS devices, it's actually not possible to remotely control them. And this is not by us, and this is done by Apple, unfortunately. So that is remotely view only. However, with Android, you do have a lot of manufacturers that have full remote control access or functionality, should I say.
Okay.
To be clear, though, with iOS, you still can broadcast your screen. So if you're supporting someone on an iOS device, then you can still see what they're up to and tell them what to click on and so on. It's just actually putting inputs in and pressing the screen you can't do until Apple let us do it, hopefully one day.
Fingers crossed.
Sounds pretty good. Right, it looks like the QR code system's working anyway, what we've set up. So it's saying that people are scanning it, so that's good. So definitely a few people interested there. So let's just go back. So Lucas says, thanks for explaining. So that's good. Also got a question saying, what are the different pricing plans? Is it like one set price, or do so many users, or how is it set up?
Yeah, great question, Phil. So we actually just recently changed our prices, actually. So we have a few different types. First, we look at, let's say, the infrastructure. We have cloud and on-premise and our enterprise license. So the enterprise, that is usually depending on how many operators and all that sort of stuff. But that's project to project, okay, depending on that client's needs. Now, if you're a smaller fish, and if you just want to use it irregularly, then I would suggest our pay-per-use coupon on top of our free trial. Okay, our free trials for 2 weeks. So if you haven't already, go and use it. But if you do need to continue using it, and you know you're not going to use it every single day for hours, then I would suggest our pay-per-use coupon for irregular use. And that's based on our cloud license. We also have a normal cloud license, and this means that it's one concurrent session. Unlimited users, unlimited end devices, all that sort of stuff. It just means that only one person or one operator can be using it at any one time. Okay, so if you've got a larger company, or maybe a small business, and you have maybe 2 or 3 people that would use the license, you might only need one, unless all 3 of them are using it at the exact same time. Okay, so again, best of both worlds. And no matter how many licenses you put on, will means that how many concurrent people could be using it at any one time. I will also point out that we have our on-premise. So we have 2 forms of on-premise. We have our subscription, and we also still do offer our lifetime or perpetual licenses. So it caters to a wide range, but it really depends on your workflow. So, send us an email, get in contact with us, and we'll find out your requirements, and we'll be able to genuinely recommend you a product. We don't like to upsell. We don't really mind about volume of sales. We want to retain clients, happy clients for years. So if they're using it and they're familiar with it, they enjoy using it, and it's very easy to use, they're going to continue doing so. So that's what we found. So that's why we wanted to have a lot of different licensing options, so they can choose exactly what meets their budget and then functionality as well. Did that answer your question?
I think it does. There was a part 2
Perfect.
that want to know exactly what your prices are, but what I suggest people do with that, because obviously a lot of people will be watching this show afterwards, is you obviously check out the website. There's a QR code at the top left, or just go to islonline.com if I'm right. So basically go there, and obviously you'll be able to obviously check out the prices or email them. Obviously we've shared the email address already, but it's support@islonline.com if anyone does want the email address. So basically just go to the website, have a look at, see what sort of services you go for, because obviously as everyone knows at the moment, prices can change on a daily basis in some circumstances. And
Yeah.
if you're watching this in a year after it's recorded, the prices may be slightly different, especially if you're watching it 10 years after it's recorded. And who knows where we'll all be in 10 years. Right. Okay. So, guys, if you are watching, any questions you got for these guys? Or I've got a few more to go through what came in when the live show, the presentation was on. But if you have got any questions, send them in. So, Carl's just sent one in saying, is the rebranding option available on Cloud option?
Yes, yes, it is. So it's across every license of ours. Now there are some free customizations, and then there are some paid customizations. They're more for the enterprise, and they're also for functionality and any custom requests. But you're able to put your own logos and colors in. So maybe Joe, you wanted to mention what else could you do for just a normal cloud user?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best way to explain it is the colors and the logo. That's generally what we would do for a regular user. If larger companies come along, we're able to go more in depth. But generally, for the average user, we can replace the logo, we can replace the key visuals, so the colors all change. Everything, all our branding is green, which obviously is not the same as most of yours probably. So we can change all the green, all the buttons can be changed colors, the text box can be changed, everything. So yeah.
Perfect. So it means that when let's say they download then the application, they'll be able to see it. So it won't say ISL Online, but it will say Tech for Techs, and it'll have that nice little logo and everything. So
Yeah, I just
again,
saw Lucas follow up saying, "Can you change the name?" And you can, yeah. So any of the texts can be substituted. So usually the name would be ISL Lights, and you can switch that to whatever you want it to be.
That's pretty
perfect.
good. It saves me asking that question. So next is one from Richard. Is it all cloud based or can you self host?
Great question, Richard. It's both. So we have the ability to have directly hosted, but just to let you know, our infrastructure, it doesn't work on peer-to-peer. Well, it works on peer-to-peer, but we use client-to-server infrastructure. So we're hosting, but then we give you the chance to also host as well. So using the self-hosted option, either the subscription or the lifetime.
That's pretty good. I've got a question. What come in saying what are the system requirements? I'm guessing with it being cloud based, or if you're using cloud based, it's not too much. But obviously, you fill us in.
Yeah, so we've got nearly everything, and we've also got backward compatibility, but I won't explain all of the system requirements, but I will urge you to go to our help page. So it's just in the website. You go down to help, and then there will be system requirements, and you can just search for it because it will give you the full list. It will give you the previous versions, depending on if it's Mac, if it's Linux, everything. Okay, so it'll tell you which of the applications can also run. So just to maybe give you another piece of information is whilst we have ISL Lite is one of the main application and ISL Always On for unattended access, we also have a variety of other products that are actually included within the price of the normal licenses. Okay, so that means if you buy one cloud license, you get all of the other apps. So one of those apps is a chat service, so you can integrate a chat into your website, and then another one is also a web conferencing tool. So I think maybe that answered it. I'm not sure.
If not, he'll obviously comment and let us know.
Yeah,
So
please.
that should be it. So Ken's asking about self-hosted. Is it billed? Sorry, I see self-hosted is billed annually. Are we able to bill monthly for self-hosted? Get it right.
Unfortunately, we're not at this stage, but perhaps that might be a possibility in the future.
Okay, I'm going to say that might be a good option, especially for independents and so forth, which can't
Mm.
obviously shell out, or they don't want to shell out as much money on just straight away. But that's definitely good. Lucas is saying basically, are the apps working also on old versions of Windows? He doesn't say how very old is, so I don't know if he's on about Windows XP or if he's on about Windows 95 or Windows 3.1.
Well,
I'm not
we
sure,
go
but
way back,
yeah.
so we can work on Windows XP. We actually have a client that they have a very unique use case where the computers are very, very old, but they don't want to change them for a specific reason. So yes, it does work with them. They're able to remotely access it from a different part of the world. So success right there.
Generally, how it works with Windows stops supporting their own operating systems, and ISL applications are still able to support them. So we generally support them for a lot longer than Windows do. If not, you can go back and use older versions of ISL Lite, which will still work on older versions of Windows.
That sounds pretty good. I think I've only gone back. I think Windows XP is as far back as I've gone, to be honest. Didn't have any issue. I think the biggest issue was getting a web browser to work on it, to be honest with you, more than the actual program, but or getting the customer to understand how to type a web address in. I think that was even harder. But yeah, so let's have a look. Interesting question. Can you interact with the user session without their knowledge? And that's from Facebook
Great
user.
question. Great question. No, we always like transparency in the company. It might be possible with the self-hosted after a lot of customization, but that won't be out of the box. So that will take you a very long time. Um, However, for the normal user, this is not possible. You can connect, but when that is connected, or when you're connected, the client will see some sort of notification pop up. And you can configure this as well to say that you need to, let's say, approve it before, or even if you're unaware of it, your computer's at home, you can say that if any session is started to that computer, you get an email so you can see it. On top of this as well, the operator can also have black screen. Okay, so that means that if they're trying to connect to something and there's other people on the office and they're at home but they just want to connect and they don't want anyone else to see what they're doing on this remote machine, they can put the black screen on there. So on the client side or the client's device, it shows nothing, and then on the operator side, it shows the working. However, and this kind of goes hand in hand, is if I click anywhere, it's going to escape the black screen. So the client still has full control. So there's no stealth mode. Okay, so we want to completely reduce the number of scammers using ISL Online. We don't want that at all. Okay, we want people who are going to use it in a professional manner.
Yeah, I must admit we've come across a lot of scammers and so forth, and they use different remote software. I'm not saying that there's none out there, but I've yet to see one using ISL Online. Let's put it that way. So, but I'll never say never. But so Lucas is saying, so ISL supports both on-demand one-time sessions and unattended sessions.
Correct. So if you don't know the end user, or if you do and you just want to quickly do it, then you can start an on-demand session. And then, yes, you can even switch it during the session to a permanent unattended session.
It's
That
worth
you can.
saying as
Mhm.
well that the on-demand sessions don't necessarily need admin rights. So unless you want to perform some admin tasks, then that user doesn't necessarily have to be logged into an admin user. Or you can elevate the session if you need to by using the credentials. But yeah, it runs without installing as an application. So yeah, there you go.
There we go. So Carl's looks like he's got a slight issue. The fact that if you close a file transfer window, it kills the remote connection. It's a bit of a pain.
Oh,
Maybe
we would welcome you to come to our live chat or send us an email at support. We can resolve this. Okay, so that's not a problem. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. If you could maybe do some screenshots or something to help us, fantastic. We would love that, and we'll get in touch with you and we'll get some log files and all that sort of stuff, and we'll hopefully resolve it really, really quickly. So thanks, Carl.
Yeah, nice one there, Carl. It's always nice to get some of the issues in as well, and obviously it's to see how you guys react to it. So let's have a look. So got another couple of questions in. Where were we now? So I think you've already said this already, but how easy is it to set up ISL?
It does depend which license you take. If you take our self-hosted, you do need a bit of technical knowledge and understanding to get this set up. Okay, mind you, it's not the hardest thing, but you need to know at least what you're doing. With the cloud version, super easy. Once you create and sign up, you can just go to islonline.com, sign up, you get the free trial, you verify your email, you're already into the screen that I showed you before, and then you can start a session from there. It's going to download our application and away you go. Okay, so super, super simple.
Yeah, that sounds pretty great. I'm going to say I've not had any issues using it. I've found it pretty easy to use. And one thing I like, I've not needed to use about this, and I wish more companies do. Let me just put my screen up, share screen again, put it on full screen. Probably best not to share it that big. Right, there we go. One thing that I like to see on their website, at the bottom right, you've got an option for live chat, and you've got excuse the language, you've got a bloody phone number, so you can actually call you guys. The amount of companies out there, you've got no way of contacting them unless obviously they want you to renew your subscription. That's usually the only time you can ever find a phone number or get through to them. You've actually got a phone number to actually call there, as well as live chat. Regarding the phone number, is that just for specific times of the day, or is that like a 24-hour thing, or different
So
time
as
zones?
per our SLA, that's from 8 till 10. So 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
And that's UK time.
That's UK time, correct?
Right, okay. Just making sure it's not
Yeah, yeah.
American any of the American times, and then we'll be asleep or whatever when you can phone. But yeah, so that's good to know. So okay, I doubt there's many people probably trying to get hold of you at midnight, but there's always a live chat and email options.
You never know. I mean, look, we will always have operators anyway, because we do work globally. So, even if it's outside of the SLA, you're going to get an answer, whether or not it's going to be a help page or whether or not you're going to have an operator actually start a connection with you. It's not a problem. You are going to get some answer in some aspect. Okay.
That's pretty good. Right, we're coming close to the end of the show, guys. So if you do have any more questions, feel free to send them in. Obviously, if you don't ask, you're not going to know. There's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask. So make sure you ask. And these, here we go. So Carl's shooting in now. So let's have a look. He says, let's put it on full screen. I like on-demand version where the end user has to ask you for a code rather than the end user providing the code from their end. I think it gives the end user a bit more peace of mind.
Yeah, well said. Because it feels like they have the control there. They're the one giving the link or giving the code. Sorry. So it's nice.
Yeah. So there's obviously different ways of doing things. I'm going to say I like it the way it works. We usually just send the customer to our website, click a link on our website, and then it basically we give them a code, and hey presto, they can connect up, and it's as simple as that. Or they give us I can't even remember which way around it is now. It's getting too late at night, but yeah. So we get a code, and I'm pretty sure we give them the code, and then they go from there. So or you can email them, and they can click on a link or something like that for those ones who are a little bit more difficult to get to go to certain websites. You always have those customers, especially in residential areas and so forth. So another thing, I know there's a lot of computer stores out there who still don't use any remote support software and call out services. And one of the things, and this is a question what came in about how does it save money? Well, it's going to save you travel expenses, time going out and about. The amount of things you can actually be doing while you're remote in someone's machine. Because obviously, a lot of the time when you're at someone's house, you're probably just sitting there for half an hour waiting for something to download or upload or scan or whatever. You can be at the other side of your workshop house, or if you work from home or whatever, you could be doing the dishes for while you're waiting for it to go through, depending on what you're needing to do. So that's one way. I don't know if you guys have got anything else to add to that, but
Maybe I will add something to that as well. Is that you can also do it in say admin mode. So if you're in a session, right, and you can restart the computer, and then it can go back into the same session. So how good is that if you're like, let's say, a university IT team, and you have I don't know how many laptops or computers that you need to connect to. You sometimes need to restart them. You need to update or you need to do something. The beauty of this is you can do what you need to. You can make that restart and you don't have to start a new session. You don't have to physically go to that laptop. You can remote in. You don't even have to remote in. It'll do it for you. So you just have to do your update and then you're back in the session. So it's it makes anything remote super easy.
Yeah, it does
Yeah,
make.
exactly, Richard. Exactly.
Yeah, Richard's just saying that actually useful being able to restart and reconnect. I must admit, it saves me times. A few years ago, like my business clients and stuff, we used to go out. Amount of times we used to have to go out and fix simple. You guys know the things, the very simple things. Let's put it that way, and the user just doesn't understand or know what they're doing, and so forth. And you have to go out. Where now it's just basically as simple as a click or a few buttons, and bang, you're in. And you're able to sort out, saves you time, makes you more money because you're obviously not spending as much money going out and about, and you're able to get stuff done straight away. And they think you're a wizard that you can.
Yeah.
Customers will go. I still get it today, even now in 2023. My customers, wow, you can take over my computer and do everything and so forth. And it's like, yeah, it's nothing new, but yeah, there's still quite a few people who are actually quite surprised by it. And okay, yes, it does cost a little bit for the service, but you have to think you split that up over a year, how much you're saving, and with all the other things, it's a no deal for me, to be honest with you. It's you haven't got much of a choice, to be honest with you. It's going to save you money in the long run. So even if you don't use these guys, I suggest you at least look at some form of remote software if you haven't. But I'd give these guys a go first, to be honest with you, because I've used a few in the past and I wasn't too happy with some. Not naming any names, especially the ones starting with a T. But these guys do very, very, very good. So, right, guys. So I think we're pretty much at the hour. Let's have a look. See any right? Let's just quickly go through the chat on here. So Lucas is saying, is there any difference between on-premise and cloud-based plans?
Yes, there is. So there is a difference. So with our cloud-based, it's one price. I can't remember the one in British pounds. Excuse me. I have it in here in euros. But there are three different comparisons or differences, I suppose. With the cloud, you just have that one price, and then with the self-hosted, you have the choice between a lifetime license and a self-hosted. A subscription license. Um, so maybe that answered your question, Lucas.
Okay. Well, if not, Lucas, you can email them. You've got the email address. It's support@islonline.com, or you can obviously use the chat thing on their website and so forth. And if you struggle to get hold of them, obviously let us know. Comment in one of the description, and we'll pass it on. Is just clarified. Just before we go on, I mean, different with features.
Okay, generally speaking, the features are more or less the same. However, with our self-hosted, you do have more customization options. Okay, so there's more things to play around with because you're hosting it yourself. Okay, so more security or more functionality in terms of what you need it to do. That being said, though, with our admin module and what I showed you today, you can get mostly everything that you need apart from the really, really strange or not strange, unique requests, I should say. Everything should happen or should work in the admin module.
There we go. And Cole says, okay, got about 30 devices set up for unattended, been down the pub and still providing tech support.
I
So,
love that, Carl.
Apple,
Absolutely
Yeah,
love that.
nice.
drunk in control of a computer, or I don't think there's a rule against that one yet, but yeah. So yeah, basically you can do it from anywhere. If you're on holiday, you could be, I don't know, somewhere really expensive or even a budget place on holiday, and you'll be able to remote support in. You could be at your nieces or nephews' weddings or whatever, and getting a bit bored or whatever. You can get your phone out, do a bit of remote support or something like that. So yeah, you can pretty much do it from anywhere. So, and it does save time. So yeah, definitely there. Right, guys. So I think we're at the end of the questions. So let me go through William and Joe. Is there anything else you guys want to add on before we call it a night?
I think I'll give you everyone a break of my voice for today. But no, if anyone does have anything, please send us a message to support at ISL Online, or better yet, come on live chat, or even as Phil said, give us a call. We'd love to just speak with you. You know, we're genuine. We're real people. We're not robots. We're not going to shove you in the corner. We'll find out what your issue is. We'll find out what you need, and we'll work with you.
Okay, that's brilliant. And what about yourself, Joe? Is there anything you'd like to add on there?
Just same as Will. And if you come, just let us know where you come from. And yeah, thanks for joining.
Okay, so that's brilliant. So, right, guys, the QR code's going to be on the screen for a few seconds. So is the website, which is islonline.com. The email was support@islonline.com as well. So if you need to get hold of them, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest. Or you just give them a call on the phone number what's on their website, or use the live chat. They've got that many ways to contact them that you've got no excuse. Right. Okay, guys, so we're going to call it a night there. We do have a live show next week. The live show is the Tech Awards finalist announcement. So we're going to be obviously announcing who's going to be listed as the finalists, and the finalists who will be listed will then obviously go through to the final, which is actually going to be at Tech Max on the 23rd of June. So you'll be able to obviously see the winners live on stage, and the winners be able to pick up their awards on stage. So again, that's on the 23rd of June. If you do still want to vote, you can still vote. Let me just go and stick it on the screen. So if you go to the Tech for Tech website, it's on the bottom of the screen. So just go for techfortech.co.uk/awards 2023, or just go to the main page, click on awards. Pretty straightforward. Vote for who you want. That is open for just under 1 more hour. So you've got an hour to go through. And from the last time I looked earlier today, we've had close to 7,500 votes. So you guys better get in there and go through. Again, if you weren't nominated, sorry, that's obviously down to everyone who's put your names down and so forth. So only people who were nominated got through to obviously the this voting stage, and then obviously the ones, or the top 5 from each category, will go through to the final, which we will announce next Thursday at 8 p.m. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you all there. I'm not going to bore you anymore. So I think it's been an interesting show. So I'd like to say thank you again to Joe and William for popping on the show for the second time.
Pleasure.
It's always good to have you back, and let's see if we can do this again probably sometime next year or whatever. And if any of you guys do want to talk to the guys at ISL, you can also see them at TechMax as well. We didn't mention that. You are going to be at TechMax on the 23rd of June, or at least hopefully anyway. You've paid to be there, so I'm hoping you'll turn up. So these guys, so you'll be able to talk to ISL there, so they'll be able to run you through things. I'm not sure exactly how they're setting things up. Maybe run a demonstration through or something like that, and tell you what to do. And give you some advice and help, but definitely worth talking to, especially if you've not offered anyone any remote support before, or if you're using one of these bigger, or I won't say bigger, but big brands, what everyone knows, what everyone hates. If you're using one of those, I suggest you talk to these guys as well, because I think you'll change your mind about the remote support software. Okay, so there we go. So I'll leave you guys to it. I'm just going to leave you with a quick video. I think you all know what it is by now. Before we go, and we'll see you all next Thursday at 8 o'clock. Just William and Joe, just stay on after the video, and I'll have a quick word with you. Okay, good night, everyone. Thanks again for watching. See you next week. See you later. Can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you, strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry, where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. And there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. Then what's more, you'll get that for £1. TechMax 2023 will be on the 23rd of June at Magna Adventure and Science Centre near Meadowhall in Sheffield. This event will be over 4 times larger than last year's event, and this year's event will incorporate a live tech awards, dedicated meeting rooms, demo and interactive areas, and up to 800 other techs just like you Get registered now at tftmax.com.